Looking polished and stylish in office is all about making smart choices when it comes to your styling, your grooming, and your overall vibe. Hello, my lovelies. I am Adete and I have worked for over 7 years in full-time office jobs before getting into YouTube. And today, I want to share a few things that I learned through those 7 years that can effortlessly elevate your appearance and make you look more polished in office without spending a lot of time or a lot of money. Now, I'm not going to focus on the basics in this video. Your real glow up is also internal. So you need to be focusing on your fitness, your skincare, and have your basic grooming on point. The 15 tips that I am sharing today are budget friendly. They are super easy to implement and they can be used regardless of what dressing style is required in your office. But before we dive in, I want you to pause this video and drop one thing in the comments that instantly makes you feel confident, because confidence is honestly the basis of your glow up. Okay, done? Let's start with tip number 1, the structured piece rule. This was my go-to rule when I was working in office. I wasn't the most fashionable person, but this was one way that I was instantly able to level up my outfits. Even if the rest of your outfit is flowy, it's casual, even if it's inexpensive, adding one structured piece instantly elevates your look. It makes you feel and look more polished. So think blazers, tailored trousers, maybe a well-fitted shirt, even a belt or a structured handbag can, add to that structured element in your outfit. The reason you want to do this is because structure communicates authority and refinement, right? It makes you look like you know what you are doing, even on the days that you don't feel 100% confident in what you are doing. My suggestion would be to invest in one neutral colored blazer. It could be black, gray, navy. Don't go for lighter colors. Darker colors are usually easier to style. And keep it handy. Whenever you cannot decide how to dress up an outfit, you can use this blazer to instantly add refinement to your fit, and people will assume that the whole outfit is more expensive and classier than it actually might be. Moving on to tip number 2, pay attention to your bags. Your bag is not just something that you carry to dump your laptop and your lunchbox in. Your bag actually becomes a part of your personal brand, especially if you are somebody who goes to office regularly and you have to dress up regularly for office, right? In office environments, even if people are not noticing, oh my God, she's carrying a new handbag, they notice how coherent your outfit looks or doesn't look, right? And your bag adds to that a lot, almost as much as your shoes and even your full outfit, right? So instead of using one bag till it looks tired and worn out, I would suggest curating 2 or 3 signature bags that reflect different moods of your office persona. So you could have like a structured tote for formal office days and for meetings, and then a sleek crossbody or a satchel bag for casual Fridays, if that is something that happens in your office, and a neutral mini bag for days when you don't need to carry everything around, your entire life around in your bag. And just having these 3 bags will ensure that most of your outfits are curated with and taken care of when it comes to accessorizing and styling. Helps a lot. On top of this, I'd also suggest that you get these bags in classic colors. So ideally 1 black bag, 1 brown or tan bag, and 1 beige or white bag. And this way you will have bags that go with most of your outfits and make it look expensive. And favorite hack, when you're not using these bags, stuff them so that they don't lose their shape and drop a small potpourri pouch inside. You can actually buy these on Amazon if you don't want to make them yourself. Just drop these in your bag. They ensure that your bag is always smelling fresh. I cannot tell you how confident you suddenly feel when there's fragrance emanating from your bag. Coming to tip number 3, look at your footwear before you look at your outfit. Shoes can quietly make or break your entire look. In fact, studies in psychology show that people subconsciously judge somebody's personality, their status, even attention to detail just by looking at their shoes. So even if your outfit is perfect and you have scuffed heels or dusty sneakers or peeling flats, that can pull down your whole appearance. Now, does this mean that you have to spend a bomb on shoes? No, not really. Instead of hoarding dozens of shoes, I would suggest that you have a similar collection to your bags. A small rotation of 3 or 4 versatile pairs that always look chic and go with multiple outfits that you have in your wardrobe. So I would suggest nude or black block heels for formal days. If you have the budget, you can buy both. A pair of nude heels and a pair of black heels, a pair of sleek loafers or ballet flats for daily wear. Again, buy these in colors that go with most of your outfits, and clean white sneakers for casual Fridays or for days that you are commuting long durations. Then you also want a statement pair like a pointed toe heel or metallic flats for special occasions. Maybe there's an office party, maybe there's special meeting, you have clients coming in, things like that. And that's about it. 4 pairs of shoes that will ride you through the entire year and through your entire office look. And when it comes to the fabric for these shoes, I would suggest going with faux leather or leather if you wear leather and suede textures, because these naturally look more expensive than plasticky finishes, those patent leather finishes. That's not what you want in a general sense to have for most of your shoes. And like your bags, you need to maintain your shoes. In fact, you need to maintain your shoes in your bags like you maintain your jewelry. Wipe them down regularly, keep shoe shapers and roll paper inside your shoes that you're not wearing on a regular basis so that they don't lose their shape. And if you use like leather or suede ones, polish them once in a while and they will last you so long and they will continue to look good for so long. And before I finish this point, you need to find yourselves a good cobbler, a good mochi. Trust me, the simplest of changes, like maybe swapping out the sole or changing the polish, can make older pairs of shoes look brand new and keep your style elevated without you having to spend a bomb on shoes. Coming to tip number 4, steam, don't iron your clothes. And I cannot stress this enough. And please don't give it to the dhobi wale bhaiya, because I ended up doing that once with a dress that I had to wear for a presentation. And unki press mein koila lagala and he ironed it. And there were black marks, streaks across that white dress. The money never came back. I could never get those marks out and I never ended up wearing that dress. It was a sad, sad day. The way that my clothes look has changed completely ever since I invested in a steamer instead of using a regular iron. I still have a regular iron, obviously, for emergencies or whatever, but I use this steamer and it prevents any sort of weird shine from coming on the clothes. It keeps the fabric flowy, it removes all the creases. I absolutely love it. Plus, it is a boon for more delicate fabrics. So if you wear like a lot of like satin blouses or chiffon or rayon, that kind of material, it just takes away everything and it drapes so beautifully on your body. Also, it is faster to iron clothes this way than to use like a regular iron. And the way that I use this, because I'm not going to invest like in a rack also on top of this, I have one of these stick-on hooks. I have placed it here. I put my clothes on a hanger, put it on the hook, and then I just steam away. This one's also very, very travel friendly. I will link it in the description if you guys want to know what this one is. But I also took it to Italy. I used it to iron all my clothes, to iron all of Vedant's clothes, and it was seamless. Loved it. Now, if you want to make things even simpler and you want to take away the hassle of ironing completely, I would suggest for office clothes, you invest in crease-free fabrics. And a lot of brands out there are doing this right now. The other day, I was out for my wedding shopping in Southex and I saw that Louis Philippe has a separate section of crease-free wear for office goers so that you can, stay in formal clothing all day long without it creasing and without you feeling like, oh my God, I have to iron it, which is a pretty cool thing if you ask me. For me, honestly, I've been doing this for a very long time because wherever I can be low maintenance and still look high maintenance, I'm going to invest in this thing. Oh, you bet I will invest in it. And these crease-free fabrics, I can just put them on, and usually these are dresses, so to speak. So I can put them on, I can go for the meeting, or I can go traveling, I can go for any event that I have, and I do not have to worry about them creasing, or I don't have to worry about ironing them before I leave. They save so much time, it's not funny. And honestly, creasing in weird places is one of the biggest reasons that office outfits, start to look frumpy and cheap by the end of the day. So, of course, investing in these outfits that are made with polyester blends, because those are the only ones that don't crease, or viscose and certain knit fabrics really help you resist creasing and hold the shape of your outfit much longer. And of course, they're more affordable as well, as opposed to investing in natural fabrics. I'm not saying that you never invest in natural fabrics. I'm saying just for office wear, it makes a lot more sense to have these non-creasing outfits because it just makes you look elevated throughout the day without you having to invest a lot of time or energy. Now, this brings me to tip number 6, which, as opposed to the previous one, is not such a low maintenance thing, and that is to swap out plastic buttons in your outfits. Now, this is something that a rich friend of mine taught me towards the end of our college days. She used to wear the chicest outfits. She always looked so good, I cannot even begin to tell you. And once we decided to go, all of us together, go to Sarojini Nagar to shop from, because, Sarojini is Sarojini, anybody can go shop from there. And she was such a great shopper. She drove a hard bargain. She spotted the best styles. And, after she got those outfits, when she eventually wore those, they did not look the same as they looked in Sarojini. She got them altered to fit her style, which we will come to in another point. And For any outfit that looked or felt even slightly cheap, she basically swapped out the dull plastic buttons with either metal buttons or fabric covered buttons that matched the outfit, and it instantly elevated the look. It became 10x better. You have to know that the sewing and the tailoring of an outfit is often a dead giveaway if something is cheap. But when you do this, when you swap out buttons or the hardware on your outfit, you can actually make the tailoring of an outfit look more expensive by default, right? The easiest way to do this is to keep a small stash of chic buttons that you can order on Amazon, honestly, and you can buy whatever buttons suit your fancy. You can buy like gold ones or silver ones that you know will go with multiple outfits, and then every time you get like a shirt or anything that has weird plastic cheap buttons, you can just replace them and you end up elevating your look almost instantly. Now, speaking of tailoring, have a good tailor and get your budget outfits altered to fit you nicely. Things like tucking in your waist or altering the length or the hem or the sleeve, anything to make it more appropriate to your silhouette is a game changer. And I know in today's day and age, we don't do this. In fact, I think in a previous video, I've said that it takes too much time and I'm not going to do this, but I ended up finding a tailor who actually is very good at all of this stuff. And I have a dress, for instance, in my wardrobe and I'm going to travel in the next month. So I'm going to take it to him because the length does not look good on me and I'm going to get it cut short to a length that looks good on me. Game changer. And this hack is a game changer for store-bought dresses, blazers, trousers. Once you have them at the perfect fit, they automatically look elevated. And personally for me, the kind of frame that I have, clothes straight off the rack don't always fit me very well. And I never used to pay attention to this, like I said. But once I started getting them tailored, the difference it made was insane. This brings me to tip number 8. Invest in invisible undergarments. Now, I don't have anything against bra straps showing, but if your panty lines are showing or the structure of your innerwear is showing, like the edges of your bra, for instance, it is often the mark of wearing a cheap fabric, right? And when you are trying to look polished and put together, that is not what you want. You don't want your fabric to look cheap. So either invest in thicker material fabric that will often cost you more, and that makes it seamless, that doesn't show your panty lines or your bra lines. Or just go for seamless undergarments that basically don't show up as odd lines from under your clothes. When you do this, your clothes also fall better on your frame and they end up looking more expensive. Another favorite hack that I have, and I don't think enough people know about this, is instead of just going for black and white undergarments, because a lot of people do this, and trust me, they show up from semi-sheer clothes, I would suggest going for grey or mauve colored undergarments. The reason that these two colors work so much better than nude or white or black is because they match the skin undertone. So when you wear them under an outfit, they're often not visible at all. Try this once and trust me, it'll be a game changer. This brings me to tip number 9. Focus on proportions over price. I have said this in multiple glow up videos before and I will say it again. Looking expensive has less to do with the price tag of your outfit and everything to do with the proportions of your outfit. Even the most budget-friendly pieces can look high-end if your silhouette is balanced in them. Now, I've spoken about proportions at length in the last glow up video, so make sure you check that out. But to quickly summarize, balancing proportions basically involves understanding your body shape and then wearing clothes that help balance the visual weight of your clothes. So if you're an apple-shaped person like me, wherein you have a heavier bottom and slimmer legs. So wearing clothes that have lesser fabric on the top and more fabric on the bottom, for instance, pairing a fitted top with a wide leg trouser, will look so much better on you because it balances out the heavy upper body by creating more volume at the bottom. If you are somebody with a smaller top frame, using puff sleeves or using a lot of fabric volume up top and less at the bottom will again balance out the proportions and make you look good. Balancing your proportions makes outfits look intentional instead of accidental, and that is the key to looking chic and polished and expensive in office and even otherwise. Coming to tip number 10, keep a lint roller in your bag. Honestly, I have only started doing this ever since I got my cats, but this is a game changer because we are surrounded by dust and pollution and all of the things that are there in the air, and often they settle down on your clothes, especially if you're wearing darker color clothes. And God forbid you have like dandruff or any sort of like hair issue or skin issue, you will also find specks of your skin and hair on your dark colored clothes. Having a lint roller will solve all of those problems. It is perfect for adding that finishing touch and making sure that you don't have anything on your clothes before you go in for an important meeting. And since you already talked about fabrics that elevate your overall appearance, I would recommend that you keep one lint roller in your office desk drawer, one in your bag, and of course, one or two at home, so that anywhere you're going, you have these handy if you ever are in a situation where you get like stuff on your clothes and you want to remove that. Coming to tip number 11. Invest in a makeup fixing spray and blotting sheets. These are two non-negotiables for long office stays. I'll link the ones that I use below. A fixing spray essentially locks everything in place so that your makeup doesn't budge and get on your clothes or other people's clothes. And I have had this embarrassing situation multiple times, only after which I decided to invest in a friggin' makeup fixing spray. I was out to lunch with a friend that I hadn't met in a while, and we just were hugging when we met, like this and my cheek ended up smearing, like, I don't know, he's a tall person, so his shoulder here, and there was like this long streak of foundation on his shoulder, and I was like, oh my god. I never even told him. I hope like he didn't notice when he went back home and washed that shirt right away. Whatever it was just mortifying. And I was like, oh my god, how do I stop this from happening ever again? And that is when I found out that makeup fixing sprays exist and they can make your life a lot easier. Using a fixing spray also prevents like makeup from getting on your neckline or anywhere where you're wearing makeup from getting it transferring on your clothes. And that's very, very important, because sometimes makeup stains won't go away and they will stain your lighter color clothes and you will not like it. And as for blotting sheets, I understood their power in Italy. Whether you have makeup on or not, blotting sheets save the day. They instantly take away that oil that you get, especially if you have oily skin like me. They make you feel fresher. They just make you look full matte without having to put any more like powder or makeup on top of your face. Both of these things are super cheap. I would highly recommend you invest in them, and they just save the day. They're those things that will make you look polished and put together, no matter what time of day it is. Coming to tip number 12, less is more when it comes to office makeup. Nobody should look like they are heading to a shadi at 9 a.m. when they arrive at work. Office makeup is about looking fresh and polished, not cakey and overdone. Despite this, I have seen so many people come to office wearing like the wrong shade of foundation and that caking it up on top of their face like their life depends on it. That is not what you want if you want to look polished, right? So when you're doing your makeup for office, I would recommend sticking to the basics. Concealer, powder, a good lip, and either mascara or eyeliner or both if that's your jam, right? That is all you need on most days. You do not even need foundation. Even if you want something that covers your entire face and, you know, evens out your skin tone, invest in like a serum foundation or invest in a BB cream or a CC cream that is sheer, that is lighter coverage, but still gives you like that glowy, dewy look without piling makeup on. And then you do a little bit of blush, a little bit of lipstick, and your eyes, and you're done for the day. And just fix it all with makeup fixing spray. It doesn't budge, it doesn't move. The less product you pile on, the better you will actually look at the end of the day, because you won't have makeup creasing under your eyes, you won't have like black stuff smudged under, and it just makes you look more radiant regardless of what time of the day it is. You look effortless, you look confident, you look put together without trying too hard. I also once had an office mishap and I was wearing eyeliner, and I have oily eyelids as well, so I cannot wear waterproof eyeliner, because if I wear that, it gets smudged all on top of my eyelid here because oil gets secreted, right? So I use eyeliner basically now that gets removed with water easily. But back then I didn't know this, so I had put on like this beautiful black eyeliner which was all waterproof and everything, and I didn't realize my eyelids got oily, and then I had to like itch. Something happened and I itched here and then I itched here, and as a result all of that smudged eyeliner was here, got transferred on my fingers, got smudged here, and I was walking around for like 6 hours with a black eye and nobody also told me. It was a very weird day. So yes, I would say that when it comes to office makeup, less is more. And just like outfits, here also it's all about balance. So if you're doing like a bold lip, like a red lip for office, do softer eyes, do a minimal base. If you're doing heavy set eyes, which I would not recommend because they also make your eyes heavy during the day. But if you are doing like more makeup in your eyes, do a minimal lip, you know, balance out the stuff, and you end up looking better. Now, tip number 13 also has to do with your makeup, and it is all about your blush, because your blush placement matters a lot. Blush can either lift your face or drag it down, and it all comes down to where you place it. A lot of people still apply blush here on the apples of their cheeks, which can make you look rounder, even tired, and sometimes it pulls your face down if you don't have the face structure for it. Instead of that, you can try applying it here, like in this area where I have applied my blush today. It's slightly higher on your cheekbone, and you swipe it up towards like your hairline, and blend it upwards. And this placement basically gives your face a natural face lift and makes you look fresh and youthful even at the end of a long office day, right? This way you don't need a lot of product, just a few light dabs, and your whole makeup comes together very intentionally, looks expensive, and makes you look amazing. Moving on to tip number 14, keep a hair fixing stick handy. These are so great for fixing those pesky flyaways. And I got introduced to these when I worked with Be Blunt a while back, and they sent it to me, and it's honestly godsend. They're not sponsoring this video, by the way, but I have been using this like a mad woman, especially in this weather when I tend to get like a lot of flyaways. And you can either do a lot of flyaways. I just take a little bit, it's like a mascara wand, and I just put down my flyaways wherever I need them. If you don't like this texture or you don't like this gel-like texture, you can actually use a whole stick one like the Moxie stick. Personally, that's a little bit too waxy for me because my scalp tends to get oily very, very fast. So if I use it, it just puts down the volume as well. So I like these mascara like things because they just fix the tiniest bit of stray hair, and that works for me. The reason I'm telling you this is because a lot of the times your hair makes or breaks your look, right? Using something like this that tames your frizz, that tames your flyaways, instantly makes you look very put together because it looks like you've put in a lot of effort into your hair, into, managing the hair and keeping it the way it is when you haven't. And that just automatically elevates your appearance to another level. And the final tip I have for you guys is to keep an underarm roll-on in your bag, plus also a mini perfume. I cannot talk about grooming and I cannot talk about looking polished without mentioning fragrance and body odor. Even the best outfit cannot take away from bad body odor. So if you are smelling bad, if there's smell emanating from your pits, even if you're wearing the chicest outfit, people are just going to notice the smell and not the outfit, right? So you need to keep it in check. I personally I'm very averse to body odor. I hate smelling bad. And the easiest way to smell good is to actually invest in an underarm roll-on deodorant. Now, I've tried multiple ones and I keep coming back to this one from L'Occitane. It lasts all day. It smells like a dream. And once I apply it, I don't get any sort of body odor for the entire day. And on top of that, I will of course add a fragrance as well, a fragrance of your choice, whatever smells good to you. This just ensures that you are smelling good all day long. Just remember though, that the goal is not to suffocate the room with your perfume, but leave like a lingering, pleasant scent that makes people associate you with being polished. Okay, before we wrap this up, let's quickly recap what all you need to do for your office glow up. Here is everything on screen. You can take a screenshot if you want. Okay, then girls, when you start stacking these habits on top of one another, initially they may feel like a lot. Oh my god, 15 things is a lot, but honestly they don't take that much time. And once you start stacking them, you actually tend to elevate your appearance a lot more just by the factor of being intentional about your appearance. The truth is that being expensive, looking polished is not about a price tag. It is about the perception that you build around yourself. And when you put this effort into your appearance, you also emanate that energy outward, that you're somebody who cares. And I think it's a good thing to care about yourself, to care about your appearance, to want to look good. Nothing wrong with that. Okay, if you enjoyed this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up, and also make sure that you share it with other office girlies in your network. And if you want to go deeper down the glow up rabbit hole, if you want to glow up even further beyond your office looks, I highly recommend you check out this video next, because YouTube says you're gonna love it. And I'm gonna see you guys very, very soon in another one. Bye.